Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2003 South Korean neo-noir action thriller film called Old Boy. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. The movie begins in a high-tension situation. A man is holding onto a rope-like material, a necktie. On one end is a man standing over the ledge of a building's roof deck, on the other, another man is dangling over the edge with a white dog in hand. The man with his feet firmly on top of the ledge, Oh Dae-soo, is begging the other man to listen to his story. Then it cuts back to the past, the year 1988 to be exact. A younger Dae-soo is belligerently drunk. He has been arrested, waiting to be released. He goes through various drunken antics in the police station. And then finally, his friend, Yo-hwan, arrives to bail him out. That same night is Dae-soo's daughter's 4th birthday. He even bought her angel wings as a present, Dae-soo explains to his daughter over the phone. It is raining, and the two men take refuge in a phone booth before heading home from the police station. Dae-soo hands the phone over to Yo-hwan, and steps out of the booth so his friend can wish his daughter a happy birthday. Yo-hwan talks to Dae-soo's daughter, Yun-hee, and wishes her a happy birthday. He assures Dae-soo's wife that he is on his way to take Dae-soo back to their home. After he hangs up, however, Dae-soo is gone. All that's left in his stead is the paper bag containing his present for Yun-hee. The same night, after being taken, Dae-soo wakes up inside a shabby hotel room. The room has no windows, and the door is locked from the outside, save for a small hatch at the bottom that only opens for food rations. Inside the room is a single bed and an old TV. Dae-soo spends his days locked in the room watching whatever is shown on the TV. Eventually, news footage shows his wife has been murdered, and he is considered the main suspect. He also discovers Yun-hee has been sent off to be adopted after his wife's death. Devastated by the news and his imprisonment by still unknown forces, Dae-soo starts losing his grip on reality. He decides to take his own life by slashing his wrists. Mysterious noxious gas is pumped into the room just as Dae-soo is about to lose consciousness from his self-inflicted injuries. Men enter the room and rescue Dae-soo. It's shown that every time Dae-soo attempts to take his own life, he is gassed, and unknown men enter his room to bring him back to life. The gas tactic is also used when his captors need access to his room for maintenance or when they need to cut Dae-soo's hair. Many days pass, and nothing has changed in Dae-soo's situation. To keep his grip on reality, Dae-soo passes his time by keeping a journal. In it, he attempts to make sense of what has happened to him, and keeps a tally of people he has wronged in the past trying to figure out who could be doing this to him. 5 years later, Dae-soo started shadowboxing to try to keep both physically and mentally fit. He has also devised a makeshift stick, and poke tattoo apparatus to mark his arm for every year he is imprisoned. Time passes, and the days remain the same for Dae-soo. However, when one of his meal deliveries accidentally included an extra chopstick, he conceals it and uses it to slowly dig a hole in the wall. Over the years, he maintains his usual routine, with the addition of painstakingly digging into the wall with a lone chopstick. It takes him 10 more years to make a hole large enough to escape. Before Dae-soo could finish digging out his wall, he is gassed into unconsciousness again. He momentarily wakes up, only to be hypnotized by a lady in a Chinese silk dress. When he finally wakes up, he is standing on the roof of a building with new clothes and his prison diaries. Adjusting to his suddenly bright and open environment, Dae-soo looks around. When he finally spots another man on the roof with him, he immediately approaches him. Thrilled about finally having human interaction in over 15 years that he has been imprisoned, Dae-soo desperately tries to talk to the other man. Unfortunately for Dae-soo, the man on the roof is in no mood to chat, he only wants to end his life. The man attempts to jump off the edge of the roof, but Dae-soo grabs him by his necktie, saving him from falling to his death. It is revealed to be the same scene where the movie began. With the other man firmly in his grip, Dae-soo recounts his story. Dae-soo wanders around the city that has become strange to him after being kept away for 15 years. He is without purpose. When he comes across a gang of thugs, he picks a fight with them. Testing his years of training shadowboxing, he beats them up quickly. Out of nowhere, a homeless man hands Dae-soo a wallet full of cash and a cell phone. Dae-soo takes the items without question, and enters a sushi restaurant. Here he meets a young female chef named Mito. Dae-soo recognizes Mito from old cooking TV shows he used to watch in captivity. Oddly, Mito says Dae-soo looks familiar, too. While waiting for his food, Dae-soo receives a call from his cell phone. The unknown caller informs Dae-soo that he's the one who imprisoned him. He taunts Dae-soo saying it was all an experiment. The caller challenges Dae-soo to find him, and if he does, he'll tell Dae-soo why he was imprisoned. Dae-soo subsequently collapses from a high fever. Mito takes pity on him and takes him home to recuperate. While Dae-soo is recovering in her apartment, Mito reads Dae-soo's prison diaries. Embarrassed about his secrets, Dae-soo takes his diaries from Mito. In a moment of weakness, Dae-soo attempts to sexually assault Mito. He fails as Mito successfully fends him off. Embarrassed about his apparent attack, Dae-soo prepares to leave. However, Mito stops him. She assures Dae-soo that she does indeed find him attractive, and asks that he give her some time to get to know him before they make love. Over the next few days, Mito helps Dae-soo try to find his daughter. When she discovers that Yoon Hee has been adopted by a couple in Sweden, Dae-soo decides to hold off on making contact yet. Dae-soo, instead, decides to find and kill his captor first. Dae-soo and Mito's next mission then is to find leads on who imprisoned Dae-soo. Working with only a partial name of the restaurant that supplied his meals throughout his imprisonment, Dae-soo and Mito comb through the city eating at every restaurant with the similar name to try to find the right one. Back at Mito's apartment, Dae-soo discovers that a stranger that Mito has been speaking to online is his captor. He decides that Mito can't be trusted. After walking out of Mito's apartment, Dae-soo finally discovers the right restaurant. He intercepts a delivery boy to gain access to the prison management. Successfully infiltrating the prison system, Dae-soo tortures the manager, Mr. Park. He pulls out 15 teeth from Mr. Park, one for each year that he was imprisoned. Finally succumbing to Dae-soo's wishes, Mr. Park gives Dae-soo a tape recording bearing Dae-soo's name. Dae-soo fights off multitudes of prison guards before managing to escape the prison again. Badly injured, but ultimately escaping, Dae-soo once again collapses. A stranger puts him in a taxi, and sends him straight to Mito's apartment. Before losing consciousness, Dae-soo realizes the man that put him in the taxi must be his captor, as only he would know who Dae-soo is, and where Mito lives. From the tape recording, Dae-soo learns that the private prison caters to rich clients that want people locked away. Dae-soo's captor paid for him to be held for 15 years and even instructed the guards on what drugs to give him should he go insane. The only reason the client gave for Dae-soo's captivity was that he talks too much. After Mito nurses Dae-soo back to health, he visits his old friend, Yo-hwan. Yo-hwan owns an internet shop, and Dae-soo asks for his help to find his tormentor. Being an expert at computers, Yo-hwan finds Mito's online friend, a stranger that goes by the name, Evergreen. Dae-soo contacts Evergreen, and it torments him some more. Dae-soo, now growing desperate, rushes back to Mito's apartment. He accuses Mito of working with his captor. While trying to interrogate Mito, Dae-soo receives a call from Yo-hwan, saying he has tracked where Evergreen's IP is coming from. He directs Dae-soo to the apartment building right across Mito's. With this new information, he rushes off to the other apartment. Here he finally finds Evergreen, whose real name is Woojin, and his bodyguard, Mr. Han. When Dae-soo attempts to attack, Woojin convinces him otherwise. He tells Dae-soo that if he kills him, then he will never find out why he locked him away. Instead, he offers to play a game. He gives Dae-soo 5 days to find out why all these things happened to him. If Dae-soo succeeds, he will kill himself, but if Dae-soo fails, he will kill Mito. While leaving, Woojin casually remarks that Dae-soo left his front door open. Fearing for Mito's safety, Dae-soo runs back to her place just across the street. However, he is too late and finds that Mr. Park and his gang have captured and abused Mito. When Mr. Park turns his attention to Dae-soo, Mr. Han shows up and offers a large sum of money in exchange for Dae-soo's release. Dae-soo and Mito run away together. While on the road, they grow closer and eventually make love. After their passionate act, they are discovered by Woojin again. When they find Mr. Park's severed hand in a package sent by Woojin, Dae-soo realizes they have been bugged. The next day, Dae-soo realizes that Evergreen refers to his old high school, and discovers Woojin was a schoolmate. When Dae-soo shares his discovery with Yo-hwan, they remember Woojin's sister went to school with them too. But Woojin's sister eventually killed herself later. Woojin is enraged about the things Yo-hwan said about his sister. He pays him a visit at his computer shop and beats him to death while Dae-soo listens over the phone. Suspecting that the death of Woojin's sister has something to do with what happened to him, Dae-soo pays Mr. Park a visit. He asks Mr. Park to help keep Mito safe from Woojin. Dae-soo talks to another former classmate about Woojin and his sister. In the past, malicious rumors about the sister were being spread around, and Dae-soo was apparently the source. This revelation jogs Dae-soo's memories. It is revealed that Dae-soo unintentionally witnessed Woojin and his sister having sex. Without knowing it was incest at the time, he casually tells a friend about what he saw. Dae-soo subsequently transferred schools, so he never found out what his actions caused to happen after. Finally making sense of everything that has happened, Dae-soo finds Woojin and confronts him. Dae-soo makes the wrong assumption of the facts he has discovered. He accuses Woojin of killing his own sister, afraid that he has impregnated her in the past. Woojin, instead of outright denying Dae-soo's accusations, hands him a photo album. The first photo in the album is Dae-soo's own family portrait. It is followed by a series of photos of his daughter growing up over the years. Horrified, Dae-soo realizes that Mito actually is his own daughter, all grown up. Woojin finally reveals his master plan. He has manipulated both Dae-soo and Mito's lives to exact his revenge. By his machinations, Woojin has caused Dae-soo to commit incest with Mito. Enraged about this discovery, Dae-soo attempts to attack Woojin. But once again, Woojin is one step ahead of Dae-soo. He explains that Mr. Park is still working for him. And should he give the signal, Mr. Park will give a similar photo album to Mito, thereby discovering Dae-soo to be her real father. Dae-soo gets on his hands and knees begging Woojin not to reveal his real identity to Mito. He even goes so far as to cut off his own tongue so that he will never talk too much again to appease Woojin. Finally satisfied with his revenge upon Dae-soo, Woojin decides to spare Mito. He also decides against killing Dae-soo. Instead, in his final act of retaliation, he activates a tape that plays recording of Dae-soo's incestuous act with his own daughter. As Woojin leaves Dae-soo behind, he recalls his final memory with his sister. It is revealed that Dae-soo was indeed wrong about his assumption about Woojin. The truth was that he tried to save his sister from killing herself. However, his sister is insistent and appears at peace with her decision, and Woojin eventually lets her go. Still in pain about his past, he ultimately kills himself, too, knowing he will never find inner peace. The movie ends with Dae-soo asking a hypnotist to take his memory of his dark discovery away. She uses hypnosis to split Dae-soo into two personalities, one who remembers the secret and one who doesn't know. When Dae-soo wakes up, the hypnotist has already gone. When he reunites with Mito, and she confesses that she has fallen in love with him, Dae-soo smiles. However, it is unclear whether he remembers the secret or not. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.